This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Welcome everyone to the Football Odyssey, part of the Sports History Network. This is your host, Aaron Harris. On today's show, I welcome Tom Henschel, one of the 3 remaining members of the Never Miss a Super Bowl Club. In this episode, Tom tells me many of his fondest memories from his 55-year tradition, including how that tradition began, his favorite games, how the club formed, and much more. Since the podcast is currently audio only, I've attached a link to my Instagram in the description so that you can see the pictures and the memorabilia that Tom refers to in this episode. I hope you all enjoyed today's show, and as always, thank you for listening.
Yeah, when I was a little baby, back where I was from, out north of Pittsburgh, fathers would always put a football in the baby's crib, you know.
Yeah?
That's me holding a football when I was 5 years old.
Wow. He got you on it early.
Yeah, it was crazy. And when I played 7th, 8th, and 9th football. But when I became a sophomore, I was just too small, and the coach made me a manager. I was a ball boy, water boy, whatever you want to call me,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you can see the picture there.
Yeah. What position did you play?
Well, when I was in 7th, 8th, and 9th, I played. But when I got in, like I said, in high school, I was just too small, so I was a ball boy, just water boy, whatever. Traveled with the team anyway,
Yeah.
And then anyway.
And those are drawings of Jack Lambert and Jack Ham?
Yeah. And also I got Lambert here with a signed, and I got Terry Bradshaw.
Nice.
Signed autograph here with, and
did you get to meet either one of them?
Oh yeah, I've met them both. I've met a lot of ball players.
What is Jack Lambert like in person?
Oh man, he's really a nice guy. But I'll tell you, boy, when he was on the field, he was an animal. I'll tell you, just really unbelievable.
He used to have the missing teeth.
Yeah, he was really cool. He didn't mind signing autographs and stuff like that.
Who was your favorite player from those dynasty days?
Oh, Lambert, yeah.
Yeah.
But I liked Rocky Brewer. I liked them all. Franco, I liked them all. I liked Swan, Silver, the whole 9 yards.
Jack Ham too.
Jack Ham. Oh yeah, he was great people.
Do you remember watching the Immaculate Reception live?
No, I didn't see it live, but I watched it on television. Boy, that was something.
What did that mean for you at the time? Because if you're a Steeler fan your whole life, obviously you saw the team didn't really have a lot of success early on.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is my outside patio here.
Nice.
I'm bringing my book with all my ticket stubs here. Here's my first 6 ticket stubs right here.
That ticket stub you have, the second one of Super Bowl II.
Yeah.
I actually have a poster of that in my apartment hanging up.
Is that right?
I love that artwork. A lot of the artwork from the Super Bowls were beautiful.
Beautiful artwork on that. You're right. And it was just it was 1968 with Green Bay and the Raiders.
Yeah.
And, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 5th were all played in the Orange Bowl.
In the Orange Bowl?
I took my dad to the 5th Super Bowl. And let me give you an example here. Number 3, Baltimore's playing the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jets are 17-point underdog against Baltimore. Now, Baltimore is an NFC team here.
Mm-hmm.
In Super Bowl V, we're an AFC team, and we're playing the Cowboys. Because after 3, you could see they were called the World Championship game. World Championship.
Yeah.
And then they only started calling Super Bowl after 4. They needed 3 teams to come from the old NFC to join the young AFC to even out the teams, to even it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what 3 teams switched over?
Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and the Browns?
The Browns, you got it.
Yeah.
Very few people can name that. And when you tell them about that, they say, gee, you got me on that, But it's so simple because Baltimore right away, I just gave you the thing when they. So anyway, I took my father to Super Bowl V for the first time. And that was, they had Johnny Unitas, Earl Merrill, they had a great, and they played in the Cowboys in the Orange Bowl. And the first time I ever put a bet on the game, and I think I had like $150 on. That was a lot of money back then too.
Who did you put it on?
On Baltimore.
Nice.
They kicked the field goal late in the game, like 13 seconds left to beat the Cowboys. My dad, we were jumping up and down. I took him to Steakhouse right after the game. Back in the early days, the games were at 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3, very early.
Yeah, you could have the rest of your night after the game.
Yeah, right. Here's the rest of me. Here's my 7th, 8th, and 9th. The first one, the Steelers were playing Minnesota in New Orleans. And
Nice.
Number 10 will beat the Cowboys in Super Bowl 10, 11, 12.
And
here's 13 and 14, very special. I had 4 tickets. I got married between 13 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
My wife says, "What's these tickets?" I said, "Honey, I've gone to all these Super Bowls." And but she says, "Why do you get your tickets?" I says, "I lost my connections in Chicago." I says, "Remember, this is my thing and not yours." So she says, "Well, let me write to the NFL." She wrote a little poem to the NFL. You can record this if you want.
I have it recorded right now.
Good. She says, I took a picture of me holding my 12 tickets in a little frame. And she sent to the NFL a poem. She said, "Tom Henschel is my name. Football's my game. 12 is in my frame. 13 is my aim." Sure enough, we get an invoice for 4 tickets. 3 weeks later, I called Mom and Dad in Pittsburgh because we were living in Miami at the time.
Okay.
My wife and I. Well, I just got married here, and I'm living in Miami, and I called Mom and Dad. Dad's all excited. He says, "I think the Steelers are going to be back in the Super Bowl." Yeah. So they came, and sure enough, this was before the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
And sure enough, the Cowboys playing the Steelers again in the same Orange Bowl. We beat them in 13. It was all defense. And we beat them in 10, in the Orange Bowl. Here it is, 3 years later, back 13. Steelers are playing the Cowboys.
That was an exciting game, too.
Oh, yeah, very exciting. We get to the stadium, and they're on the 50-yard line. Oh, my goodness. My mom and dad, and here I am, my new wife, and me, and we're just... That's probably my favorite game.
I think for your father, too, like growing up as a Steeler fan and seeing that team really just have no success must have been really special.
See, my dad loved football, so it instilled in me. He taught, my brother Jim was 1 year younger than me. He'd take us to high school games when we were like 4 or 5 years old. He'd bundle us up. Mother says, "It's snowing, it's raining." Dad says, "It'll be okay." He'd bundle us up, take us to the game,
Yeah.
So here we are. I get 4 tickets again to Super Bowl 14 in L.A. And the Steelers are playing in the Rose Bowl. We're playing the Rams when the L.A. was playing at the
Coliseum.
Coliseum. But it was very close. The Coliseum and the Rose Bowl were very close.
Yeah, it's virtually a home game.
It was actually like a home game for the Rams.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, it's still the largest crowd that ever got to see a live Super Bowl. Over 104,000 was at that game.
Wow.
104,000 in the Rose Bowl at this game. It's the largest anybody ever tried. The Dallas last Super Bowl was the only one and only. It was at the new stadium in Dallas. what's the owner of the Cowboys?
Jerry Jones?
Yeah, Jerry Jones tried to break this record, and he couldn't do it because it was a couple whole sections that was dangerous. They couldn't even, the fans couldn't even sit in this one area. I don't know if you ever heard that.
No, I never heard that story.
Yeah, it was a couple sections. It was they wouldn't let anybody in there because it was something, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't sturdy or whatever. Anyway.
That was the game with Pittsburgh against the Packers?
Yeah. See. Yeah, and they didn't break that record. In fact, they didn't even come close to breaking the record with the fans. And so anyway, it was a really exciting game also for a team.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Pete Rozelle?
No, you know what? I never have. And two of the other guys that's gone to every Super Bowl, they have met people. They have met this new commissioner.
Roger Goodell?
Roger Goodell. I've never met Roger, but I never met Pete Rozelle, no.
I never
met any of the commissioners.
You always what?
I never met any of the commissioners.
I think he would have been a real interesting guy to meet.
I do. I think so too. I know. Boy, if he could only, if he always knew and see my collection, I have every program also.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, I just keep on rolling here, and this 20 was special because I had a lot of friends in Chicago. That's when the Bears beat up on New England in this game.
46 defense.
Super Bowl 20 in New Orleans, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that was a great game. And then here's a couple holograms here. I don't know if you can, anyway. But this is a hologram here, too, with the American flag and the, I don't know, can you see the,
Which game was that one?
That was in New Orleans also. That was in the Super Bowl, I want to say 35. Let me see here.
Oh, is that Patriots Rams? Right after September 11th?
Yeah, it was 2002, February 5th of 2002. It was, anyway. Oh, gee, what happened here? Anyway.
What was your favorite Super Bowl to go to?
Well, I go back to 13 and 14 because I'm with my mom and dad and my wife. But my brother Jim and I were at Super Bowl 43 here in Tampa with Harrison picking up that football.
Yeah, the interception.
I joke around. I always tell people I can run faster than Harrison. And it's so incredible about this right before halftime. If he gets tackled, or he gets pushed out of bounds or whatever, the halftime is over.
Yeah.
We don't even get a field goal out of it, you know?
Yeah.
And and it was just so fortunate. We kept knocking these guys, the defenders off course, and he scores that. Then at the very end of the game, Ben hits Holmes in the very tip of the end zone. It was like tiptoes. He was inches from the corner of the end zone there.
And the play before that was a wide open catch that he dropped. I don't remember if he dropped it or if Ben overthrew it, but it would have been an easy touchdown.
I can't. But anyway, my brother and I were sitting right in that corner where Holmes catches that ball right there on the tip.
That was special.
We were going crazy, honest to God.
Did you ever see the video of whenever James Harrison is running with the ball and Larry Fitzgerald's about to catch up to him, but someone on the Steelers sideline is so excited that he's jumping up and down and he gets in front of Fitzgerald's way?
No, I didn't. I don't remember that. I didn't see that. I can't remember that.
Yeah, Fitzgerald would have had him, but the people on the sidelines for the Steelers are like running down with him, and then he gets caught up in that mess and he doesn't catch up to him. Sometimes you need a little bit of fortune, right?
Are you from up there or what? Where are you from?
I'm from Ocala, Florida, originally, and I went to school in Tampa at the University of South Florida, and now I live in Atlanta.
I see.
Yeah.
But you kind of always kind of had a feeling for the Steelers, or what?
The first game I ever watched was with my uncle, and my uncle's from New York, but he became a Steeler fan, I think, in 1966, 68, somewhere around there. And the first game I watched was the 2005 divisional game against Indianapolis when Jerome Bettis fumbled the ball.
Oh,
and
okay.
Ben made the tackle.
Yeah.
So when you watch a game like that, I think you're in for the long haul.
Gee.
And I've been fortunate enough. I've had the chance to go to Pittsburgh to see a couple games too.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Everybody's real friendly back there. It's like.
I love Pittsburgh.
It's just. Anyway, I'm running out of space here, but they started just scanning the tickets. They wouldn't take the bottom part,
Mm-hmm.
Here, and here I got to get some better. And here, and then my last 6 games here. I'll go back to first of all. Last year's ticket in Miami was right here. But tickets yesterday where you had to Monday, Sunday, you had to. It was all digital. You had to use your phone.
Yeah.
And they're going to send us the tickets, the real tickets. Oh, like in a week or two, I should be getting the real ticket.
Yeah, you had to have it for the collection.
Yeah, to have my collection. But this is last year's. It was 54, 53, 52, and here's 51. Here's 50, and here's 49. Now, 50 was very special. You can see the price there, $2,500. Roger Goodell's secretary calls me up. Mr. Henschel, it's such a pleasure talking to you. We got a surprise for you this year. We're going to give you 2 tickets on the 50-yard line. We're going to pay for your airfare. We're going to pay for your hotel. They put us in a retiree football right downtown San Francisco. And they honored us in front of the media Saturday before the game. Gave us a real nice box with felt type with a nice big coin I wanted to say here. I have it back in Pittsburgh. I didn't bring it down here in Florida. I have a little cottage up in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. I go up there every summer and fall. But it says, thank you, Thomas Henschel, for attending all 50 Super Bowls, blah, blah, blah. And my name is on the coin. Beautiful gold coin. Really nice. With back of the coin has all the teams and scores of every Super Bowl. It's really,
that's a big coin.
I didn't believe I forgot to bring it with me because I had all kind of newspaper here. I had right here on this patio. I had NFL sports. You might be able to bring it up. CBS Sports Network.
Mm-hmm.
Network. How if you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that? I might be able to send you the link. I got a couple of links I could send you.
Yeah, definitely. We'll exchange emails after this.
You're kind of okay. If you kind of like the links, and it was on like 3 or 4 times, like Friday and Saturday. They had me on the network, CBS. Then I get a call Saturday night. They said pregame. They might rerun it at pregame, but they only showed me at 4:35. They had my name and gone to every Super Bowl, and it was only about 18 seconds of what my brother said. I was already in the stadium, and I didn't get to see it. But my brother said they only cut about 18, 20 seconds. That's all I got pregame on CBS live,
Yeah.
So, yeah, whatever.
How did this whole tradition start? Like, how did you end up going to the first Super Bowl?
Okay, I got my first job when I left Pittsburgh was 1965. I moved to Chicago, and my first job was working as a gate agent for Eastern Airlines.
Okay.
I was with Eastern until they liquidated in '91. We were a big airline at one time. You could ask your older family members; they would remember Eastern. I mean, it was
right there with like TWA.
Yeah, it was a big airline. We were bigger than TWA, National, bigger than we flew everywhere. Oh, Scott, Eastern Airlines. Every city in the United States, we hit them all. And Frank Borman, our astronaut, he sold out to this corporate raider in Dallas, Texas called Frank Lorenzo.
Mm-hmm.
And right away he sold out our System 1, which is our reservation department. and it just went down the hill. And they had a big fight with the unions, and oh man, it was just. But anyway, all right. So I'm working a gate agent. I meet these two guys on the bar right outside of O'Hara. Henschel, you're a friendly guy. How'd you like to be a part-time bartender for us? Well, when you're young, you do 2 jobs. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I'm bartending, and I'm meeting all these ball players. Here, Henschel, you could fly for nothing. I get 2 tickets. January of '67. You could fly for nothing. And they were only $12. The first 3 were only $12. And I could fly for nothing.
No
So
brainer.
I would go out to Coliseum for that first game with Green Bay and Kansas City. I called a cousin. I'd never seen her before that game. I haven't seen her since. We went to the game, and then I'm back to Chicago. I get tickets given me for a second game. A third game, Joe Namath. He was a local legend back in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Even though he went to school in Alabama. But he played in Beaver Falls. That's where he's from, in Pennsylvania. I asked about 8 players. I need tickets to this game. I need just 1 ticket. That's all I'm looking for. I can't help you. Man, nobody could help me. So I went down anyway to the Orange Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I said 2nd, 3rd, and 5th were all in the Orange Bowl. So 3rd game, I go down there. I picked up a ticket for $12 before game time. I get tickets to the 4th game and the 5th. That's when I took my dad to the 5th. The 4th game, I took a buddy of mine. The 4th game is in New Orleans. First time I've ever been in that city. You been there?
No, I haven't.
Put it on your wish list.
Best city for a Super Bowl?
The French Quarter, to me, I think if I had my way, I'd have the Super Bowl in New Orleans every year because it's all confined into the French Quarter, Bourbon Street, all those streets in that area.
Uh-huh.
You're seeing all the players. Anyway, after that 3rd and 4th game, I said to myself, something special. I think I have something very special. So I continued. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to try and go every game. So on and off, I could get tickets. And in the earlier years, it wasn't hard to. I went to stadiums at least 5 or 6 times, I think, without tickets, and be able to get a ticket. Like 3 hours before game time. It cost maybe overcost, maybe $25, $50 more money.
Yeah.
And until I've been on the VIP list for the NFL for the last, I want to say 29, 30 years. They send me the invoice because they know about me. I've been wrote up in so much, newspapers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So so that's my history, really.
How did the club form?
Well, in Super Bowl 17, my wife and I were standing in line in L.A. to see Johnny Carson's show. He was a late night talk show.
Yeah.
Host. 2 guys in front of me with their wives. They were talking about how many more games they could go to. I said, "Wait a minute, you guys have gone to every Super Bowl?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I've gone to every game." And there for a while, I said, "I thought I might be the only guys going to every game." And they're really nice fellows. One was Stan Whitaker from Denver, and the other was Don Crispin from New England. But Don used to live in Denver, and Don and Stan became very good friends. And they've gone to every Super Bowl. Well, Stan passed away, I want to say 12, 14 years ago, I'd say. But either way, while we were standing there, and we became friends, kind of like, we're going to call ourselves Never Missed a Super Bowl Club. How's that sound? And Stan's the one that named it. And then years later, we met this Larry from San Francisco, Bob from Wisconsin, and they've never missed every game, too. And then many years later, we heard about these 5 guys from New York. And the one guy, I guess, knew Pete Rozelle pretty well, and they got their tickets to the NFL office. Well, one of them passed away. One of them missed a game, couldn't, 3 years ago, I think he was too sick. And this year, another guy came down with the virus. He couldn't go. So there's only two of those guys left. Larry, Stan, and Bob have all passed away. And now there's only Don and me and these two guys from New York. However, 4 years ago, we meet this Gregory. Gregory is from Lansing, Michigan, and he claims he knew all these ball players from played for the Lions, and that's how he got his tickets. But the other day, when the three of us were being interviewed, I had all my ticket stubs and everything, and we're being interviewed by many stations and stuff down on the Harbor Island, and for the first time, Gregory says, "Well, I don't have my first three tickets." Well, that doesn't mean he hasn't been to every game, but he claims he's gone to every Super Bowl, and I'm thinking. My wife was also, she said he hesitated when he was asked that question about, have you really gone to every game? And one of the guys asked him. He kind of hesitated. And then I'm thinking, if he says he's gone to every Super Bowl, it could be true. But did he go to those World Championship games when it wasn't Super Bowl?
True, yeah.
You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So... And he actually told me, and he told one of the sports writers that was down there, I don't have my first three tickets,
Yeah.
So anyway, if that's the case, whatever. I'm only one of five fans if he's gone to every game, you know what I mean?
Does it ever cross your mind, like, maybe if you had, like, if it's like Super Bowl II, you actually ran into these guys, like, in the lobby or something, or, like, at the stadium, like, maybe that you guys had actually met before?
Yeah, I mean...
That's because it's crazy to think about, like, obviously when you're at a Super Bowl, you see a lot of faces, so you never know if you're going to remember one.
Right.
But then, you could, like, theoretically bump shoulders into someone, and then, 30
I know.
or, like, 15 years later, you run into them.
I know. Yeah, I never thought of stuff like that, but anyway, it's like... I just know I have something very special with her, and it's like... I have every program. Here's just for example. Here's all my programs here. I have programs.
Wow.
I was on that Visa commercial about 10 years ago.
I remember it.
But it was us four guys here. There's me here. This is Don. Oh no, this is Bob, and this is Larry. Big passed on. This is Don here.
Who was the? Which one was the Packers fan?
The Packer fan was right here. Yeah, Bob. Packer fan, yeah.
He passed away right before the Packers beat the...
right before the Dallas Cowboys. That's right, exactly.
Yeah, I remember that story, yeah.
And here's Super Bowl 50 with just Larry, me, and Don. We were guests of honor for... It was a 50-year program, Super Bowl program on that. That's me holding my just 11 ticket stubs right here.
Nice.
And,
did you ever, when you went to those first, 10 Super Bowls, did you ever think it was going to become like such a huge event that it is now?
I kind of had in a way, I think I did have a kind of a gut feeling that I had something really special and it was going to be really big someday. Really big. That was my brother and I at the when we were at the Arizona. It was my brother Jim and me here.
Nice.
When we were at the Arizona Pittsburgh 43. My brother Jim passed away about 7 years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He was a man. He was my best buddy. We were only 1 year apart, and we had he and I went to about 27 games together.
Super Bowls or just games?
Super Bowl.
Wow.
Super Bowl games. Yeah.
What was would you say that 13 was your favorite Steelers Super Bowl?
Yeah, 13 was my big favorite. It was the first program. They were $1.
Yeah. That's I have a large poster of that.
Super Bowl II.
Yeah.
Super Bowl III. Well, the first time I ever seen Super Bowl on the program was 3, but on the ticket stub, it didn't have Super Bowl. It had World Championship game.
Did you think that Namath was going to pull off the upset?
Oh, no. Nobody did.
Nobody?
No. I'll tell you, there was more Baltimore fans in the stands than the Jets. And, boy, I'll tell you what. It was, boy, he, in front of the media a couple of days before, he said, we're gonna beat Baltimore. That would fire up the other team, you know.
Yeah.
And but
do you think that was a greater upset than the Giants in New England when they were undefeated going into that game?
Yeah. I think the Jets was the biggest upset ever in the 55 years. Yeah.
And it's crazy to imagine for me because the NFL has always had football on its thumb. You know, I've never really been able to see another league be able to compete with it, especially since my lifetime. There's been a lot of other leagues that have collapsed within just a season, even.
I'm not a New England fan because, like I said, that Don Christman, he and I always buck heads.
Yeah.
So, you know,
he twists the knife a little bit.
Yeah, 3 years before, a lot of times before New England got their after they had their third Super Bowl, I was telling Don, hey, if you win next year and the year after that and the year after that, you'll be tied with me.
Yeah.
And we used to go. He hates the Steelers, but I hate New England. You know, so one of us hate those. But when we're together, we hug each other, and you know, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a cracker. I'll tell you what. So like I said, I love New England, Tampa's team yesterday or Sunday. But I don't like Brady, you know. Hey, but you got to admit, he's something special, you know. He's
generational.
Really, and it was so great for the city. Oh my goodness!
So, did you ever almost miss a Super Bowl?
It was 2 times. The first one was in New Orleans, and Super Bowl 6. I'm waiting for Saturday night. It's something I ate. I didn't feel right when I went to bed. But I woke up like 5, 6 in the morning, Super Bowl Sunday. And I barely got my clothes on, got out on the street. And it's nothing. No cars, no nothing. And I'm on the street on all fours. I thought I was going to die, honest to God.
Wow.
I couldn't breathe. A police car came around the corner. See, I was in distress. Picked me up, helped me, put me in the squad car. I passed out. I waked up in the emergency room of a hospital with IVs, oxygen, and about 9 o'clock, they wheeled me up to a room, and a sister, a Catholic nun, came in. She asked if I needed anything. I remember telling her, "Sister, you don't understand. I have to go to Super Bowl Day." She says, "No, you're supposed to stay here for till tomorrow. You're under observation. There'll be a lady coming up here to get your information." As soon as she walked out of the room, I pulled out the IV, put out oxygen, took out the back hell of that hospital, and waved down a cab, go back to the hotel, because I had a girlfriend from Miami flying over that morning who would come to my hotel around 11:30, and we were going to go to the game because I had 2 tickets for Super Bowl 6.
Uh-huh.
So I had to get back. I never did tell her I had a problem because I was all juiced up. They had the amyloid or whatever they had in me. I was feeling no pain. And sure enough, I'm back in my room, took a shower, and next thing I know, she's on the phone downstairs. What room? I said, "Come on up," and we go and we headed to the Super Bowl 6.
Wow!
And we walked over to the stadium I think it was played in Tulane Stadium, but it's still walking distance from where my hotel was. Whatever.
Who were the teams that were playing?
That was Dallas and Miami Dolphins.
Gotcha.
And Dallas kicked the shit out of Miami in that game. she was a big Dolphin fan, and it didn't matter who won. But I guess I sided with Miami because I was still in Chicago at the time, and and then after the game, she went right back to the airport because she had to go to work Monday, and the next day I flew back to Chicago, and yeah, I'll never forget that. That was the closest I ever came. And it was one other time, the first or second Super Bowl, it was down here in Tampa. My wife and my brother Jim and we leave the house like 4 hours before game time because we didn't have tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to the stadium, but we were at Tampa Stadium. And, I mean, the crowds were all over the place. I can't remember if it was the Washington. My wife may be able to remember. It was either the first one here was the Redskins and the Raiders.
83.
Yeah, I think that was the first one. And I got to the point where I'm waving $100 bill. I need a ticket. And then I think I put 150 up. My brother says, Tom, if we just get one ticket, you go in and Reggie and I go to a bar and we'll watch it on TV or something. I thought sure we could, even if we could get 3 singles, we could sit different places in the stadium.
Yeah.
And I say about an hour and a half before game time, I think it cost me $150 to a guy. It was more important at getting that money than to go to the game to see the game. He probably didn't care about football anyway.
Right.
And boy, after that, I made sure I kept writing to the NFL, writing to him. I said, I got to get on your VIP list or something. And sooner or later they did. They got me on there.
Do you know who Jim Steig is?
Jim? Yeah, Steigs.
Yeah. He used to plan the event for the Super Bowl.
Right.
I actually had the opportunity to interview him.
I met him one time.
Really?
Yeah, just a quick meet. I think it was on,
Yeah, I got to interview him a couple months ago. And
Did you?
Yeah, it was fun. It's interesting hearing him because I think when he started in the NFL, he was like 25, 26. And
he was young.
He was working for Joe Robbie and the Dolphins when he first broke into the NFL. And and I think after 4 years, they were given the keys to run the Super Bowl. They gave it to him and said, all right, do something.
They gave him a powerful job, you're right.
Yeah, that's incredible.
In fact, I think that's who we had to write to in the beginning. How we had to, how we got on the list somehow. I think he got us, I'm not sure if it was him or I think it was him. Or it was one other guy he works with or somebody.
Jim Kensel, maybe?
About the same job or something. That they put us on the list,
Yeah.
Jim Steig, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What do you think is the best Super Bowl play of all time?
Oh my! I have so many good memories of so many great plays. Oh boy! I love, by the way, the Giants beating New England twice. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
And that one catch for the Giants, hit it on a helmet. Remember
David Tyree?
Yeah, right. He hit, and he holds the ball it hits his helmet.
Yeah.
And he's holding it, and he falls. They tackle him.
And Eli had to work magic on his own because he was about to get sacked.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, boy.
See, I have a lot of family members from New York, so most of them are Giants fans. Yeah.
Oh.
So I never typically root for the Giants because sometimes they can twist the knife themselves pretty good. But yeah, I think that game most of America were Giants fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gee.
But it's watching the Super Bowl since I was a kid. You just see because I've heard you say in other interviews that it's bigger than the 4th of July or anything like that.
And New Year's put together.
Yeah.
Did you ever see any of my? Oh, yeah. How did you hear about that? That was one of my sayings.
Yeah, I've seen some videos that you did for interviews. That must be one of the busiest times of the year for you, right? You just get media coming from all over the country.
Oh yeah, gee whiz! I had all 4 stations here this past week, last week. Channel Bay News 9, CBS local channel, 13 NBC and ABC. I had all of them here, and they all did something locally.
What is your favorite piece of Super Bowl memorabilia?
I tell you what, I think my favorite piece is being honored at Super Bowl 50.
That coin?
I could, that coin and a nice box. It had a key to it and everything. And at the time, there was some of those fans from New York. It's gone to every game. In our group, it was altogether. I think there was 3 photographers, 3 sports writers, 1 owner, 1 groundskeeper. Have you heard about the groundskeeper? He's 91.
Art McNally, isn't it? No, that's the referee. I know who.
1 groundskeeper.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember his name.
They had a piece on him. I know.
He won an award not too long ago from the NFL.
Right.
Yeah.
He's from Kansas City, and the only owner that's as a lot of teams have sold to other families.
Right.
And so the only owner left is Norma Hunt. Her husband was Lamar Hunt. I have pictures of me with me and my wife and Norma Hunt. Yeah, she got the award also. She was introduced the same time we were.
Wow.
To get this coin and everything in this box. Yeah. And then it was just and the rest were just fans, just us fans that was left. I think there was 4, 5, 6, 7. Must have been about 9 fans. And since then, it's been passing on. I'll tell you what. Gee. I'll be 80 years old next month.
Congratulations.
I'm sure how, thanks. I'm trying to make 90 or 60 Super Bowls. I told my wife I don't think I could handle 5 more years. I mean,
the Super Bowl needs you there.
Next year it's in L.A. and it's so spread out in L.A. Oh my goodness.
It's L.A. I did a couple internships out there when I was in college, and you're right, just so spread out. Like that's probably one place you do really need a car.
Yeah. You definitely need a car. I'm gonna. Last year in Miami, I drove over, but so I had a car there, but I rented a house, and that cost me like almost. I had the whole week, almost $2,000. I had one of those Airbnb or whatever they call that,
VRBO.
So I got pretty close to the stadium. It wasn't bad. And I had my one sister and her husband stayed down there, partied with me. And a buddy of mine, one of my buddies I fell around with, he was down there with me. So the 4 of us felled around in Miami all week. But we all had 4-bedroom house. It was really nice, big house.
Nice.
Well, I paid the whole thing, $2,000, it was like, or $1,850, something like that.
If they had if the Super Bowl was ever played in Vegas, would you go?
Oh, yeah.
I love Vegas.
When I was in Chicago with the airlines, I used to go at least twice a year.
Really?
Fly out there. Because I'm a gambler. I like to, I like to do a little craps and a little blackjack, and I like to bet,
I love Vegas. My parents, when I was born in '94, and the '90s was when they were kind of creating like the family environment, trying to revamp it. And we would go, and I would go in the arcade and the pool. My parents would take turns. Like one would be in the casino, the other one would be watching me and my sister. Those are beautiful memories. Yeah.
Pretty cool. You're a pretty cool guy. I'll tell you what. I'm glad to talk to you.
You're a cool guy too. So just one question left, and then you've given me plenty of time, and I appreciate it. If you could go back and relive one Super Bowl, what would it be?
I go back to, I think it was 14.
Yeah.
Because, it was more exciting, I think, than Super Bowl 13, because we're playing the Rams in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rams were ahead going into the fourth quarter against the Steelers. And I'm with my mom and dad and my wife, and and it was 104,000 in the stadium. And I guarantee you, there were probably just as many Steelers fans there was Rams fans, even though it was in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. Steelers fans follow big time.
Yeah,
Cowboys
wonderfully
follow
well.
big.
Yeah.
Packer fans are big. I mean, they diehards. I mean, big. You know, they're all over the country. You know,
Yeah.
Cowboys, Packers, and Steelers. I think have more fans around the country than any 10 teams put together. Really, I mean,
Yeah,
it's they follow all over. You know, it's like,
yeah.
But that game, oh my goodness, it was just you were on the edge of your seat, really, almost the whole game. It was a crazy game. If I had to go back, that was a good memory.
And they were underdogs too in that one, pretty big.
Yeah. It was like no.
The Rams were.
Yeah. The Rams were underdog, right? By oh boy, I can't remember. I know in Super Bowl 13, Steelers were favorite only by 4 points, I think it was.
That's the game where Rocky Blyer had that crazy catch where he had to like reach up really high, catch a touchdown. Yeah.
Well, you love football too, don't you?
I love it. I spend so much time watching on like I go on YouTube and I watch a lot of the old games.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of the old NFL films.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I actually just interviewed one of the former directors. He was one of the first 10 employees hired by Ed Sable.
Really?
Yeah. And
oh my gosh, that's the name of the path. Somebody, man.
Yeah, it's
he and his son they started the NFL films. You know, It's like and boy, in fact, I don't know if you know this, but the first Super Bowl, 2 different networks did that game.
Yeah, they had to re-kick it because one of them
and they retaped over it wasn't important.
Yeah.
Retaped over and the only films was because the NFL films had bits and pieces, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like to reconstruct it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, because the film was more important, and they had retaped over it, you know.
Yeah.
Both channels, ABC and
Can you imagine just being the network executive just thinking this game is going to go nowhere, it's going to be canceled in like 5 years, just get rid of it? Yeah.
And a lot of people a lot of fans don't realize that first Super Bowl was so unimportant. In the end zones were almost empty. I mean, it was like they say they could have sold 25,000, 30,000 more tickets if it was a bit more important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, you know, they had like about at least 25,000 open seats at that game.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah.
So
it's come a long way.
Yeah.
And you've seen it from the very beginning. You were there at the grassroots.
I was there, buddy.
That's what makes it special.
See.